Hey guys, so I was using this tool called Answer the Public where people go and ask their most frequently asked questions, and then it basically comes and combines them all together and shows which ones are the most popular. So I wanted to be able to answer this because it looks like this is a very, very popular question. And it is, can I start a bookkeeping business? Now, I'm just going to share with you my experience and my experience of mentoring and coaching probably about 100 different people inside of the private mentorship program at this stage in the game. Now, if you want some help growing your business, like you don't want to go and take this slow way, you want to go and take the elevator, the fastest path to success, go ahead and click on the link inside of the description below. It's going to take you to my calendar where we can book a call. On that call, like what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at like where are you right now? Then where do you want to go? And then afterwards, if I think I can help you out, I'm going to outline what that process looks like. And if it makes sense, we can work together long term to accomplish that goal. But anyways, let's talk about, okay, guys, how and can I start a bookkeeping business? Now, the short answer to that is yes, you can. Now, I think the real question that people are trying to answer is, can I successfully start a bookkeeping business? Now, it really depends on what your goal is, as well as what are you really willing to do. So, in essence, everyone can start one. Is everyone going to be successful at it? No. There's a couple different factors and things that might cause people to really not be successful. One, how much fear do you really have? Number two, how I guess how comfortable is your current situation? Three, how bad do you really want it? Four, are you willing to invest your money into it rather than just investing your time? Let's start from the end first. So, are you willing to invest your money and not just your time? Generally, what happens is people want to figure things out like the slow way, like they want to kind of bump their head against the wall. They want to kind of try it out. They want to really grow. And really, in my opinion, that's not the best way to go. I've always been one of those people that can learn from somebody's mistakes vicariously. So I can see a mistake or I can see what's right and I can implement those things very, very quickly. I think that's one of the quickest things and the fastest things that caused me to be successful, right? I remember when I was a lot younger, I was in martial arts. And then I distinctly remember my martial arts instructor telling my mom, she said, Bryce is very good at getting the move, seeing it, and then being able to do it from a couple different positions and just keep implementing what we just taught him. So I could take a very basic concept and I can just put it in like five or six or seven different areas, and it would almost just be like I would just absorb it, right? And it's the same thing nowadays whenever I learn something from business. For example, I can watch someone's sales call and be like, hey, okay, don't say that. Okay, this is where you lost them. Okay, do you see how this person's face kind of flexed right there? That means that they didn't really understand what you said, but since you didn't notice that, we kind of sped past it. It's the ability to say, okay, cool. So you did this thing on Facebook and it worked, versus you did that thing on Facebook and it didn't work. Okay, so never do that thing on Facebook again unless it's this and this and this circumstance. Only do this. And that's what allows people to grow really fast. Now, how did I develop that skill? Was it always like that? No, it wasn't like that. What happened was I started paying money for like mentorship and courses. Even going back to that martial arts example, those lessons weren't free. In order for me to get, multiple black belts in two different arts, right? I had to go and pay money for the classes. I had to go and invest, right? Because the one thing that people can do is they can try and watch Bruce Lee movies on the internet and try and learn all of Bruce Lee's moves just by like the 30-minute videos that are on his movies, right? Or you can go learn under an expert directly and just they just show you step by step what you do. They give you foundation, they give you structure, they give you a path to be able to go and move forward, right? Same thing when I started my business. Okay, so I had to pay this guy $7,800. It was a lot of money at the time. I only had $2,000 left in my bank account. I had to put the rest on credit cards, which some people are like, that's scary because they don't really understand debt as far as like in the business sense of you put some debt down to basically buy yourself some time back and give you time to actually implement what is inside of the program or the situation. Now, I'm not saying you just go and just put $1 million on your credit card just because someone's selling a program. What I am saying is you can't be afraid of debt, especially if it's something that you think is going to really help you out and really work for you long term. Now, even going back in line with that, right? Someone asked me before, they're like, how did you spend $7,800 and you didn't know it was going to work? You didn't have a guarantee. You didn't know like if this person could actually help you out. And I'm like, well, it really comes down to like even when I paid $20,000 for this one mastermind, dude. But it was just like at a certain level, really, when you look at a business owner that does really well or is in the game for any amount of time, they have this kind of it's like a skill set you develop of really trusting yourself and understanding that no matter what goes right or what goes wrong, you have the ability to go and figure it out. Okay. So it's like, okay, I can pay this guy 20 grand and I'm gonna figure it out. It doesn't matter. Even if what that person has inside of the program doesn't help me out, I can find one thing inside that I can listen to one thing this person says, and I'm going to utilize that and I'm going to make my investment back. I'm going to 5x, 10x, 20x my investment. And that's always my mindset going into anything. If I go into like a presentation from someone on like a webinar, I'm listening for one thing that's going to help me move forward in my business. For example, why am I making these YouTube videos right now? You might have noticed like I actually just rifled off like probably 20 videos in the last like week. 20 different YouTube videos in the last week that were each between 9 minutes and 15 minutes long. Why did I do that? It's because I saw two people inside of this mastermind say that YouTube was the easiest way for you to kind of grow and get trust and build more exposure in the type of business that I'm running. So I'm like, okay, cool. That's all I got to do. Just post on YouTube. Okay, so let's figured out the script, figured out the keywords, figured out the SEO, figured out all these different things, and here we are now, right? And we're getting some pretty good results from YouTube. I mean, I put out a video, it gets about 20 to 30 views, and that's really the goal, right? But it all comes from me being able to trust myself. So if you don't get anything out from this business, can I start a business or a bookkeeping business? Anyone can. It's who's going to actually find success. These are the traits of someone that is successful. They believe in themselves. Number two, they're not afraid about getting really, really confident. Okay. So when you're first starting your bookkeeping business, you have to be audaciously arrogant. It's called unearned audacity is what I like to call it. The nicer way of saying unearned audacity. Now, what I mean by that is some people when they're starting out, they're like, well, I have no experience in the industry, or I've never worked with a client. This is the first time starting in business. It's like you got to just start becoming very audacious with what you're asking in order to even start a business. Like, think about the act of starting a business. Most businesses should not succeed because no one starts off with 100 years of experience, right? So if experience was the only thing that separated you and was the only thing that mattered, no one would be able to start a new business. And the only things that be around are like Deloitte, and the big four. Yeah. But back to what I was saying, like if experience is the only thing that separated people or the only thing that mattered, no one will be able to start a business. So how do you start it? How do you really like get your foothold in the market? You have to just go to everyone and say, hey, I'm going to help you to the best of my ability. No, I don't have a lot of clients. No, I don't have this. No, I don't have that. I don't care. Do you care if I have that? No, you don't, because I'm going to do the work better than everybody else. I'm going to play to my strength, which is I am smaller than every single other firm on the planet because I'm just getting started. That means I have more ability to focus on your work, do your work to the best of my ability, make sure it's perfect, make sure it's correct. And I'm going to hunt this thing down. I'm going to do everything I need to make sure you have a great experience with me so you can go and refer your friends. Okay. That is unearned audacity to say, I am going to do a better job for you than anybody else on the planet because I need this business to work. Some people, like when they're getting started, like, I don't want to beg, I don't want to seem desperate. This right here, this desperation of I need to do well for you, that is the desperation that it takes to go and win business when you're new. It's an intensity, it's a focus. Another thing, like can I grow a bookkeeping business? I can tell very quickly if someone's going to either succeed or if they're going to fail based on this. It's like an innate ferocity that you can kind of feel coming off of the person, right? It's like this aggression of I'm going to make my dreams come true versus other people that struggle. It's kind of like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I'm not saying like you have your full-time job and you're starting your business part-time. I'm not saying that's not what I mean when I say like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I mean, in your part-time business, it's, I don't know if I really want to start this, but maybe in the future, it sounds cool, or Excuse me. Or I'm planning, or I don't know. Okay. If you're afraid to get in, like that's okay, that's different. Versus some people are kind of like, it's almost like an apathetic, like they just don't really care. Those are the people like where it's like no, you can't start a bookkeeping business because you're not going to be successful. It takes a considerable amount of effort and focus in order to go and grow the business. Now, does that mean that it has to take you 5 to 10 hours every single day of marketing stuff to grow your business? No, but it does take for you actually wanting to make it work and being able to spend like 30 minutes to an hour a day. If you can't spend 30 minutes to an hour a day growing your business, one, I mean, you probably should like reallocate your time so you can spend that much time or get a VA. But you really got to reflect like, do you want to start the business at this moment in time? If not, I mean, you might as well just go and relax with your family, like rather than like spending all this mental capacity thinking about starting a business, like just go do what you actually want to do. But if you do want to do this, man, this thing is the fastest way to go for you to be able to go and get to like 10 grand, 15 grand a month. Like I've never seen a business model where you can get a client to pay you 10 grand a month, and they're not only going to pay you that for 1 year, they're going to pay you that for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, because they build this trust with you. And they kind of get into this mode where, well, we've been doing it so long with this person, you might as well just keep it going. And they just keep going. As long as you can build that friendship and that relationship with them, they don't switch. Okay, so yeah, so can you start a bookkeeping business successfully? Yes, but you got to be able to bet on yourself. You got to be willing to invest your time rather than just, your money rather than just your time. You have to have the skill set of, I'm going to figure this thing out. You have to be able to have some unearned audacity, and you have to be able to have a kind of innate ferocity of, you are going to figure this thing out. You're going to do it. Nothing can stop you. Okay. That's that. If you get nothing else, if you have those 5 things, yes, you can start a bookkeeping business. You should start a bookkeeping business. You will be successful. You will be able to do this. Now, that's how you start. How you grow and how you reach your goals is a slightly different process, okay? Because these are all the inner stuff that you have to have first, and that's what you need to start. It's an internal start. Now, what you're going to find is that you're going to have to go through a lot of trial and error when you're first starting out. And that's where most people do. And that's where most people kind of die out in this growth phase. Now, if you want to avoid this trial and error, you just want me to give you everything you need. So how to price, how to do your marketing correctly, give you the marketing scripts, how to do sales, how to actually have we have live versions and live examples of past students on sales calls called our sales call library. If you want a sales flow, so it tells you exactly what to say and how to say it, dude, book a call by clicking the link in the description below. I'd love to be able to work with you long term inside of the 6-Figure Furnace mentorship program, where I give you all this stuff. Basically, on the call, we're going to do is say, like, hey, where are you right now? Where are you starting? What's holding you back? What are the main things that are the pain points that you're going through right now that we can solve? Next is, where do you want to go? Like, what does the goal look like? What does your business look like when you're actually successful? How much money do you actually want to make? And then once we understand those 2 things, we can build a game plan, a path where it's okay, so cool, do this, do this, do this, do this. And if it makes sense for us to work together across that path, I'll just tell you a little bit more about the program. We'll just give you all the durations, and you can make a decision like, do you want to do this or not? And then that's it. Then we're off to the races and getting our goals. Now, if you want to go and do that, go ahead and click on the link inside of the description below to book a call with me to see how I can help you out. Now, if that's not you and you're not quite ready at this moment in time, there's no harm, no foul. Just keep watching these videos, keep learning stuff, keep absorbing information. We have a lot of free walkthroughs to make sure you can get some, results in advance, and we can build that trust with you. So over time, we know that the law of reciprocity will say, the more I can help you out, the more money you make from watching my free stuff, the more likely you are to actually buy my stuff. So if that's you, I just love you. Can't wait to see you in the next video. Take it easy. Talk soon.